the opening vistas of space promise high costs as well as high reward. We set sail on this new sea because there is new knowledge to be gained. The exploration of space is one of the great adventures of all time. And we mean to be a part of it. We mean to lead it.
Us into a planet, so we must be in the right place.
Attention vessel, you have entered restricted space. Please respond. This world is off limits. You are advised to jump to safe harbor immediately.
I'm cleared to be here. Meeting with Commander, Hatum? Hatum?
Let me check my logs. All right, you can proceed. We'll let them know you're on your way down.
Landing initiated. Watch for flaring.
So this is Londonian. I've heard the stories, but I've never seen it with my own eyes.
You! Inside the barriers, double time! Rhino unit. You're heading to command, far end of the compound.
Commander?
I pride myself on knowing everyone on this world, and I don't know you. You're with the collection team then, I presume. Either that, or you're one deeply unlucky trespasser.
Captain Kidaen? UC Vanguard? You're expecting me?
Vanguard, eh? Brief said you were an eclectic group. You must have really shined out on the fringe to get assigned a task like this. Ah, then this must be the rest of your outfit.
Commander Hatum, I'm...
No need for introductions, Major Sanon. Dr. Walker, your reputations precede you. As does the urgency of your mission, so I'll get to it. Now, Londinian is one of the most dangerous places in the Milky Way. It's with good reason my soldiers and I do everything we can to avoid entering the city. Terramorphs are omnipresent, and the structural damage left behind when Major Sanon's father bombed its spaceport has turned large swathes of the metropolis into a decaying labyrinth. As such, we'll be providing you all with gear, information, and uploading municipal unlock codes to your robot. Every tool you could need to succeed out there. Except one. Once you're on the other side of those barriers, you will be on your own. If you get into trouble, my people will not be coming. Do we understand each other?
You wouldn't send a rescue party?
We are unwanted guests on this planet, and, as a rule, I don't put my people in any more risk than is absolutely necessary. We've got it hard enough out here. So, no, there will be no cavalry sweeping into the rescue.
Any idea what we're about to face?
Terramorphs, and plenty of them. Outside our little sanctuary here, much of the planet is theirs. For that reason, we keep our trips into the city to a minimum. That also means our intel becomes largely historical once you go much beyond the defenses. It's also why I want to make sure I'm being crystal clear. Out there, you're on your own.
Understood. I've been in that position before.
Precisely. I'll leave you to your preparations then. You can find your equipment in our armory, base of the tower just outside. And I do believe there's someone waiting for you there, Captain. Now, once you're outside the base, it's my personal suggestion you make a beeline to the nearby Aceles plant. It contains one of our field caches. Though I can't guarantee it won't contain anything else. I hope you all find what you're looking for out there. Robot, you're coming with me.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Commander. Percival, you all set to hook into their comms tower?
Should only take a few minutes. Let's get this done and get the hell out of here.
Percival will be scanning the city for our samples from here. When he finds one, he'll transmit the coordinates to us out in the field.
You can pinpoint the location of these samples all the way from here?
Pinpoint's a bit strong.
The equipment will be able to get us a rough location of any acceptable samples in the scan area. It'll be up to you, Kaiser, and I to find the things.
Well, I'm with Percival. Let's try and get this over with fast.
No argument here. Head over to the armory and gear up. Once you're done, we'll meet by the entrance to the city.
glad I got you that armor. We should talk about something.
Any troubles you need to share? Bring me anything useful?
Let's, negotiate.
Stay safe, darling.
Always wanted one of these.
Nicely done.
Howdy.
Hello.
You match our description. The Vanguard captain? The cabinet wanted you to have something. Make sure you had the best tools for the task at hand. Now, if you'll excuse me.
Back's acting up again. Not gonna forget that fight anytime soon.
damn good modification there. Very impressive.
Don't go into the city much. Never for long. Too risky.
Might not be Jemison, but this ship is starting to feel like home.
Whatever you need. I'll only carry the good stuff. Just kidding. Bye, love.
Just for this one mission. I gotta admit, you look hot, babe. You all good, Percival?
Cold feet? Who can blame you?
All right.
All set on your gear? Are you ready to do this?
You nervous too?
Yeah, just pre-mission jitters. You hear about a place for so long, it maybe gets bigger in your head than it should be. But you don't need to worry about me. I'll be all right. Now, are we doing this or not?
Let's go.
Then let's get this show on the road. Kaiser? Percival, everything green on your ends?
Kaiser now. You copy that?
Roger, loud and clear.
Perhaps too loud.
Oh, you're a riot robot.
Kaiser, kick it off.
Unlock code
way into the city. Percival, where are we heading?
Running the first sweep. Got one. A Sealy's. Not far. Old shipping yard just past the processing plant. Gene samples are probably in one of the containers.
What? That creature. It's dominated. Must be a morph nearby, keeping it under its sway. Let's put it down. More of them. Clean them up.
Your shipping yard's just beyond the processing plant. Cache with some goodies is towards the rear of the facility.
Kaiser, we close enough for you to dial in the location of those samples from here?
Yes, they're faint, but I'm detecting multiple valid signatures. I have restored power to the containers.
Jackpot! Get down there and collect as many as you can.
If that was locked, there must be something they don't want us to find.
Open fire!
Initiating. Samples collected.
All right. Now hand those over to Kaiser, and let's get out of here.
Samples secure.
Nice work. Now, earlier scan picked up a valid terramorph sample, but, well, it's in the spaceport. And the quick route there looks like it got blasted when the port did.
There are steam tunnels under the city, which will allow us to access the spaceport.
What do you... That's right. Kaiser, how did you know that?
I am not sure.
Percival, you see any better option?
Not from where I'm standing.
Then we've got our answer.
Access unlocked. We may proceed.
Kaiser, this flora, this is Lazarus plant, isn't it?
Confirmed.
You know, no one even realized it was a living thing until someone got it under a microscope and saw it had cells. Can't be cultivated anywhere but Londinian. A real marvel. Leeches. What's keeping you things warm? What's that? My God, look at it. A Lazarus in bloom. You know, we might be some of the only... What's happening? Captain, are you seeing this? Oh my God. The heat leeches are terramorphs.
What? No. It can't be true. Heat leeches are everywhere. They live everywhere. That means terramorphs... Oh my God.
You just saw that, right? You would tell me if I was losing my mind. That heat leech became a terramorph. The pests that have snuck onto every planet are baby terramorphs. Heat leeches hide out in ships, sneak away after landing, and then, with time, they transform. We just found out how terramorphs move between planets.
Nothing natural should be able to do that.
I am sincerely inclined to agree, but current evidence suggests nature manages it just fine. The Lazarus plant. It's clearly an accelerant for the terramorph, a heat leech transformation process. make one into the other in an instant. But that means if anyone knew about this, they could trigger a terramorph spawning. You could sneak a leech into a city, or even multiple leeches, into a place like New Atlantis. Good God. The attack on New Atlantis, does this... Could someone have set that up?
Given what we just witnessed and the coincidence of the attack, it certainly seems plausible.
But first, you'd have to know the truth about all this.
Well, we're never gonna know if you don't catch that thing. Get after it.
We may proceed.
Go!
All right, let's get to the bottom of this.
This is the gross part.
Percival, Kaiser's got the cell data from the New Atlantis and Tau Ceti attacks, right?
Uploaded them myself.
Captain, let Kaiser take a look at that sample.
Beginning analysis. It is a match. This suggests with high certainty that the Lazarus plant was used to trigger the attacks on both planets.
There's no way a plant this rare, this fragile, just shows up here, New Atlantis, and Tau Ceti. The transformations on those worlds, they must have been triggered by human hands. Captain, do you understand what it is we just stumbled on here?
That someone thought they could get away with attacking the UC. It means the Lazarus plant was used to trigger the attack in New Atlantis and could easily be used to trigger attacks in almost any location. Heat leeches are everywhere.
Exactly. Someone saw the Lazarus plant in action and used it to trigger the attacks.
A bioweapon no one would recognize as one. Oh, that's a terrifying prospect.
Sort of thing that'll keep you up at night. And the sort of thing whoever did this probably didn't expect us to uncover. Makes some sense, actually. Tau Ceti was likely their first test. Someplace remote where no one would question a few settlers going missing. Ensure the big show, the attack on New Atlantis, would be a success. And the timing of that one, it couldn't have been just luck that it happened right when we were asking the cabinet to do something about the terramorphs. These attacks, I think someone planned them to set all this in motion.
I think I know who, too. I thought the timings of those terramorphs showing up was pretty suspicious.
They certainly were. But having this answer, well, it raises a couple big questions. Who could pull something like this off? And why?
I've got some ideas, but it's far from responsible to just start hurling accusations at this point.
Let's save the discussion for when you all aren't standing in the universe's closest equivalent to hell frozen over. If we're gonna do anything to prevent more Terramorph attacks, human cause or otherwise, we need that final sample.
Roger that. Kaiser, get us into the spaceport?
The entrance is this way. Provide sufficient power to the lock mechanism.
Anyone got ideas where we could get some extra juice?
Local power looks like it was controlled in the security office. Upper floor.
Captain and I can scout it out. Kaiser, see if you can't find another way to get it open.
Roger that. I have restored power to the office entrance. You may proceed.
There's the control panel. Still looks operable. Of all the things to survive.
Reactivated. Error. Control system reboot required.
And we do that... Ah, Captain. I think I see it.
Definitely know your way around the lock. Reboot engaged. Running diagnostic. Diagnostic complete. Multiple systems unavailable. Warning, priority safety concern detected. Exterior hatch power restored.
Back in business.
Warning, emergency recorder message detected. Transcription process engaged. Playback initiated.
Admiral Sanon, we need to make the evacuation request.
That's my father he's addressing. He was here? Didn't think he'd have the guts to look those soldiers in the eye before blowing this place to pieces.
Admiral!
It just transformed. An invisible weapon. No planet would be safe. Colonel, the troops that closed off the sewers after my evaluation, they're all in this facility.
Other than our casualties? Yes, sir.
Good. Get them into defensive positions around the spaceport. No one leaves. I'll send ships as soon as possible.
Thank God. None of us wanted to go down swarmed by those things.
That won't be your fate, Colonel. You have my word.
Transcription complete. Physical copy available.
An invisible weapon. He knew. He knew about the Lazarus plant. Grab that recording. We should talk. Hey, Victus. He destroyed this place. Killed these people to keep what he knew about the Lazarus plant and the Terramorphs and all this a secret. Didn't he?
That's, one way to interpret it.
He saw the potential of the plant as a weapon and hid it away. He killed those people. Condemned this city to keep them from sharing what they might have seen. He was
a murderer.
Yes. exactly what we all thought he was. But I guess that's just another part of his sick legacy now. He thought he was protecting us all, taking the secret to his grave. Only he didn't succeed. Now someone else knows about the Lazarus plant and is using it exactly how he feared.
That may not be entirely true. Adrian, your father is still alive. The UC have been keeping him in a secret prison under the city.
Now's not the time to joke like that, all right?
It's the truth. He claims he's been trying to help us, but I think he's just trying to collate data.
No, that's insane. He died. They executed him. They faked his death? My entire unit, they threw us all to the wolves, but kept him? And now he's what, an advisor? Commanding the fleet in secret? What was so important that they had to keep him alive?
The cabinet thought he was too useful to get rid of.
I'm sure they did. They invested so much in him over the years. Even grew him an entire family he didn't want.
He's alive. Ve Victus is still alive. This is just typical of UC bureaucracy. A cover-up of this magnitude could directly lead to war. What the hell is the matter with them?
I guess it makes sense though, doesn't it? The UC of that era only created me because they were afraid of a world without Ve Victus in command. Why would they get rid of him? As long as I live, I'll never understand the loyalty that old bastard elicited. But wait, if my father's alive and knew about the Lazarus plant, what do you think the chances are he was involved in the attacks?
It's an idea worth discussing further when we're not surrounded by terramorphs and frozen wasteland.
Good point. Deal with one monster at a time. Let's go get that final sample. Kaiser, try it now.
Unlock successful.
Guys, your sample, it moved. I'd be real careful out there if I were you.
That doesn't sound good. Eyes peeled.
We need to get the sample from that thing. Oh, well then, let's give it all we've got.
It's down! It's down! Let's grab that sample and get out of here. Good. Now just stash that sample with Kaiser and we're done.
final sample secure.
All wrapped up. Time to get the hell out of here. Percival, you should unplug and find somewhere we can talk. Privately.
On it. See you soon.
Percival?
Look at all of you. Back from the underworld. Got pretty frantic on the comms towards the end there. But it sounded like this was a success. Got everything we need to put this plan in motion.
Is the plan still going to work now that we've got to clean up heat leeches and terramorphs?
Can't be positive until we run some tests. But knowing that the terramorphs have been masquerading as heat leeches all this time is a big find. Arguably makes things more feasible, now that we know what we're dealing with, not less.
Agreed. Plus, I don't think you're gonna have to push real hard to get folks on board with cleaning up one of the galaxy's greatest pests if this is what they're capable of.
But none of that's getting done without the samples. You do have them, right?
Kaiser has them in storage.
Ah, best place for them. Now, my connection might have gotten a bit fuzzy there, but do I have it right that Ve Victus knew about this damn plant?
That's what it sounded like.
Guess the old Admiral must have told someone what he learned. Even he's not clever enough to pull off an attack like that from the great beyond.
It's a bit more complicated than that.
We can't rule him out. The Vivictus is still alive under the UC. Literally.
I'm sorry, what? They're pulling my leg, right? Adrian?
I don't believe they are.
So that means we have a suspect.
I believe that's exactly what that means. Look, Captain. Percival and I, we need to get these samples back to the lab. Ensure we'll be able to handle cleaning up the leeches as well as the terramorphs. But Ve Victus is the only solid lead we've got on the attacks. Since you're the only one who knows where he is, can you speak to him? See if you can get him to cough up anything he might know.
Do you want to come speak to him with me?
Captain, I truly don't. He's already shown he's taken an interest in you. I'll be a lot more useful in the lab right now than I would be grilling Francois. So do you think you could do it? Please?
I understand. I'll do what I can. He's not exactly a trustworthy source.
Whatever you can turn up is more than we have now. We'll all meet back at Mast, outside the cabinet chambers. They're gonna want to know everything we've uncovered here. Best of luck, Captain. And thank you for dealing with him.
Hello?
Suppose I have time for a nap before we leave?
Oh! We have more than time for a nap. A warmth. Holy fuck, that planet is cold.
Remember when I said I like to be close to you? Now you know exactly.
What's buzzing, cousin?
As much as I love you in that outfit, I think we can probably ditch it for now. But, you know, keep it for another time.
If something's on your mind, dropping off a few choice items? Talk to you again soon, darling.
Though I think I might keep the spacesuit on. I like it. Plus, we kind of match. Hopefully we're never coming back here.
No borders, just horizons. That's my idea of freedom. Achieving orbit now.
Nice jump. We're right on target.
The only question is, who put a bounty on me? And for what? Oh. Done. Hold on. Hold on. It's my own fault. It just looked like meds. Didn't realize until it was in the scanners. Goodbye. I mean, I suppose I could have gotten a bounty just for picking it up, but from who? How? I don't know. We should be good.
Well, you didn't put us into a planet, so we must be in the right place.
Welcome to UC Space. Maintain your current course while we scan your ship's cargo. All right, we're done. You're cleared to land at New Atlantis.
Touching down.
Things for you.
You will be scanned as you enter the city. Please keep moving. Okay, no bounty. You're clear. Enjoy your visit.
I wonder if I'll miss New Atlantis when Tony and I leave. No, probably not.
picked up something you might be interested in.
She knows the deal.
Authorized personnel only. Threat has to stay here.
Well, what a pleasant surprise. When I heard you and Hadrian were headed for Londinian of all places, I presumed you must be onto something big. Did you find what you were looking for?
Don't play dumb. We know you were behind the attacks on New Atlantis and Tau Ceti.
Now, what in the heavens would make you claim something as ludicrous as that?
We have your recording, your invisible weapon. You were talking about the Terramorphs.
Did you? Well, I don't know what you think you heard on this recording, but I sincerely hope you didn't come to the wrong conclusions. After all, given the Cabinet's current state of anxiety, they might misinterpret such a discovery to mean I could have been involved with the attacks. Perhaps I can convince you to keep this among us.
I'm telling the Cabinet what we learned. Consider this your chance to come clean.
You know, you're far more clever than I expected. You want to hear the words, then? I did it. The Terramorph attacks on Tau Ceti, New Atlantis, my doing. Years of coordination between my associate and I, figuring out how to deploy the Lazarus plant's pollen outside of Londinian, learning to synthesize it, use it as a weapon. Now, being as clever as you are, I'm sure you have thoughts on why I might do such a thing.
Because you're a madman and a murderer. You live to sow death and destruction wherever you go. You claim it's for the UC? But what about your associate? Who have you been working with?
All in due time. First, I want to see if you're truly as astute as you appear. So why would someone like me go through all this trouble?
You probably have additional plans. Since you're still alive, something long, something personal.
You couldn't be more right. The attacks were a correction. When I discovered the plant, I did consider handing over what I'd found, but we were at war. And I couldn't risk information that dangerous falling into the wrong hands. So I ordered the bombing of the Londinian spaceport, fixing two problems at once. Halting the spread of the city's Terramorph outbreak, and sealing away knowledge of the plant's potential.
You didn't even trust your own people in the UC.
These were the final days of the colony war, Captain. The Freestar Collective had spies everywhere. I was concerned that if word got out, the Collective could swoop down, start breeding Lazarus plants, and overrun our worlds with waves of Terramorphs. Just like what was happening on Londinian at that very moment. Sealing off the city to prevent mass death? It was the only option that made sense at the time.
No secret is so dangerous that you can justify condemning so many lives.
Easy to say now. But in that moment, I wasn't about to add another dangerous variable to an already catastrophic war. But then, as the war ended, my trial, my execution, I made a decision. After all, I'd given everything for the colonies. My life as I knew it included. And what did I get in return? Was there any effort by the UC to protect my legacy? My daughter's legacy? No. We were sacrificed when all we did was serve. So I kept what I'd learned and arranged the attacks to set things right again. My daughter, she becomes a hero. I become a trusted advisor, having found Kaiser, the research team, and cement my new position of influence when I hand them the name of the person responsible for the attack on New Atlantis. The dear departed Dr. Reginald Orlays, the associate who aided me all these years, and whom I always slated to take the fall. What luck he was stopped dead before he could hurt anyone else. His decades on the run brought to an end by another unlikely hero. You.
And I'm just your cleanup crew. Unfortunately, I suspected. You must think you're very clever.
Captain, please. You've benefited here as much as I have. Maybe more. It's why I had Orlays reprogram Kaiser. Had that old machine guide you to where I found the plant all those years ago. I went to great lengths to ensure your and Hadrian's success. And look at the results. I know for a fact the Cabinet's planning to honor both you and Hadrian once this is all done. Isn't that preferable to languishing away in obscurity? Running jobs on the tail end of nowhere for the Vanguard? With only the vague hopes of perhaps earning the right to buy a home in the well someday.
If you're waiting for me to say thank you, we're going to be here a while.
I'm simply looking for you to acknowledge the truth. And let's not forget the importance of our actual endgame. Eliminating the Terramorphs. Securing knowledge of the Lazarus plant. What we've set in motion is going to protect thousands, maybe millions of lives. I'm simply requesting one more life be protected. Mine. I've already sent along the evidence of Orlays' role in the attacks to the Cabinet, leaving out my own involvement. All I ask is that you confirm as much to the Cabinet. Tell them that it was Orlays and Orlays alone. After all, I do still have a long list of threats to the UC. This needn't be the end of our good works together.
You think I'm just going to forget the fact that you killed thousands and millions of people yourself to accomplish your good works?
And how many have you killed to get where you are now? There are no great works that don't cost lives, Captain. Whether it's winning a war or digging a tram tunnel. So we sacrificed a few dozen in the attacks to possibly protect millions. That seems like a fair exchange to me. I only hope you'll see the same and leave my name out of the discussions to come.
I hope you've enjoyed this talk. Once I tell the Cabinet, I'm hoping it'll be your last.
That is a pity, Captain. But I'm in no position to negotiate. Though we needn't be enemies, you and I. Just think about the opportunity I've provided here. There are more on the horizon. If you do the right thing.
You must have lost your mind. Goodbye. I hope I never see you again.
Authorized personnel only. Your friend has to stay here.
Whatever you need, you got it.
Let's get out of here.
Let me guess. You missed me. All right, let's go. I have something for you when you have a moment.
I talked with him.
Perfect timing. We just got in. So on our end, good news. The microbe and the Asylees are both as effective against heat leeches as they are against terramorphs.
Means either plan should work for clearing those critters off our worlds.
Considering what the Lazarus plant is capable of, I don't think we can deal with those things fast enough. I already sent along info to the cabinet to get them up to speed. So what about your end? Did you find anything? Did my father tell you what he knew about the Lazarus plant?
He confessed everything. He organized the attacks from his cell. He has other associates, he said, but he didn't give them up.
I knew it. The second I heard that recording, I knew. Why? Did he say why he did it?
It's not worth recounting. The man's a mind. He has his reasons, but they're circular logic and foolish ideals that end up being selfish and personal for him.
Probably a good approach. I'm sure the UC interrogators will be able to get to the bottom of it.
So you're telling us that the attack on New Atlantis was Vae Victus's responsibility, just like the dooming of Londinion? That's insane! He has a sick mind indeed. It should be dissected and studied so we can fathom how the hell a human being can function with no heart.
Sarah!
Well, once we inform the cabinet, they can ensure he won't be able to do anything like this ever again.
And what do you think the cabinet will actually do to him? After all, they faked one death.
My hope would be that whatever connections he's got to the outside world disappear. Make sure his future schemes and machinations stay in his cell with him. But honestly, I'm not sure. He's in a unique position, and has done a special kind of harm to the colonies.
He deserves punishment or worse.
Exactly. Bring justice to everyone he's hurt. So I guess that gives us our final answer. Nothing left to do but head in and see what the cabinet thinks of it all. Unless there was more to discuss. This might be our last opportunity to talk things through before the cabinet weighs in on a decision regarding the terramorphs.
What do you think the cabinet will do when they learn about Vae Victus' involvement in the attacks?
It's hard to know. Unlike my father, the cabinet aren't butchers. But killing UC citizens, along with everything else he's done, is unforgivable. But if you're really that concerned, you could request they be lenient. They might be willing to spare him.
Which method of the dealing with the terramorphs are you leaning towards?
Microbe is gonna make the cleanup a whole lot quicker. If we're concerned about this Lazarus plant getting deployed again, that's the way to go.
The cabinet can secure the Lazarus plant, and then we're not risking any surprises when it comes to dealing with a microbe.
You're being paranoid. You know the science. You know we can make this safe.
I do know the science. I also know math. And a 1 in a million chance of a mutation isn't 0. So I guess we're still in discussion. Probably best at this point to let the cabinet weigh in, see if they have a preference.
And what kind of risks do you think there are for the Aciles to be brought back?
Aciles aren't hostile to humans, but they are megafauna. If someone decides to pick a fight with one, it could get ugly. But they've already been spread far and wide once before when the UC was raising them as livestock, so the risk of introducing them to new worlds is minimal. Using them to clean up the terramorphs and leeches, though, it's not going to be nearly as expedient as the microbe would be. Given what we know now about the Lazarus plant, the speed of the job does matter. But going with the Aciles, we're at least dealing with known risks.
I think I've made up my own mind. I guess let's head in there.
And here we go.
Welcome back, all of you. I wish we were meeting under better circumstances. But according to Hadrian's report, and the second one I just received, it seems the Terramorph attack on New Atlantis was no random occurrence, but a planned strike. Is what I'm reading here true?
Is the second report from who I think it's from?
This report comes from a particularly confidential source both you and I are familiar with, yes. Among the reasons its findings are so alarming. Now, is it true? Was the attack on New Atlantis planned?
Yes, but we know who planned it.
The second report claims to know the perpetrator as well. Did Reginald Orlays actually commit these attacks, Captain?
Orlays?
Hadrian, you should probably tell them.
Well, ma'am, it seems your report is incorrect. Francois Sanon was responsible for the attacks.
He did what? That's impossible. He doesn't have the kind of access to...
Clearly, he made his own access, Chief Sarkin. Madam President, I have been saying for years that not dealing with that man was gonna end in tragedy.
Enough! I hope everyone here understands that what has just been shared is a state secret of the highest order. This information does not leave this room. Now, that's quite the accusation your group is leveling. Seeing as Francois Sanon has not left containment for the better part of 2 decades. You have evidence to back this up?
Why do you think I would make some... You know, look, I'm just gonna play the recording.
It just transformed. A terramorph out of thin air. An invisible weapon. No planet would be safe.
Heavens help us. Is that actually him?
I'd know that voice anywhere. That's Francois.
He knew they could do this. And said nothing.
He's a sociopath. Plain and simple, ma'am.
Officer, please collect that recording.
Yes, ma'am. Begging your pardon, Captain.
We'll, of course, be launching a full investigation into how this could have happened. Though I have little doubt the Admiral will be quick to share all he knows on the subject once confronted with that recording. Chief Yassine, can you send one of your interrogators to have a little chat with the Admiral?
I'll issue the order immediately.
Good. Combined with everything else you all have uncovered, well, I don't think the United Colonies can thank you enough. We failed the people of the colonies by not dealing with Victus sooner. I intend to rectify that mistake immediately.
How do you plan to rectify the mistake?
That will be up to the Cabinet to decide. But I don't appreciate our mercy being taken advantage of.
Whatever the Cabinet thinks is gonna be the action you take.
It's well past due. Now, with our villain unmasked, we can attend to the other matters at hand. With the threads you've brought together here, the Lazarus plant, the attacks, the heat leeches, the three of you have likely spared thousands of lives. But it now falls to the Cabinet to ensure this can never happen again. As such, the Cabinet will be securing the Lazarus plant on Londinian. All materials related to the plant will be classified to ensure no one else learns its true nature.
A sound decision, Madam President.
What sorts of measures do you plan to take to protect the Lazarus plant?
Well, luckily the natural hostility of Londinian makes keeping out trespassers relatively easy. But we'll ensure its growth is contained, that access to the plant is only permitted via highly regulated clearances, and that our troop presence on Londinian is increased.
Not to sound too Freestar Collective, but I believe the other faction should be involved in securing the Lazarus plant.
Tell the Freestar Collective? Why? So they have another tool to utilize against us?
I'm in agreement. I fail to see the value here.
The value is that no one here seems to have the best track record right now with the armistice. This would ensure good behavior from both sides.
That's true. With all the mistakes and the deception that's been going on, the UC has an obligation to be as open and honest as possible.
Huh. That is an interesting idea. A grand gesture to further display this cabinet doesn't think like those of the past.
The observers on Mars have proven such a gesture can bear fruit.
So, you want us to make nice with the Collective by sharing our state secrets?
No, I want us to display plainly the UC's actual intentions, that the plant will never be used as a weapon again.
That does sound worthwhile, Chief Kulkarni. Very well. We'll get the Collective involved in the management. Thank you for the suggestion, Captain. So then, to our final topic. The Cabinet has agreed to implement a plan that will deal with the Terramorph, and now also Heat Leech presence on human worlds. In fact, we've already begun enacting measures to check all UC ports and settlements for undiscovered nests. But we all understand this is only a partial solution. The project we're embarking on will be a long and difficult one. So our first step must be deciding how exactly this all will be handled.
Madam President, this microbe is clearly too much of a risk. The Aseles are the safer approach.
To someone with limited knowledge of biology, perhaps? The technology behind the microbe is solved science, Madam President. It isn't dangerous. Using it to wipe out the Terramorphs would be the quickest path to protecting humanity.
And fast results always lead to the best outcomes, don't they?
As you can see, there remains debate among the Cabinet. We were hoping your group might issue a recommendation. Major?
We've been having similar debates ourselves, but the captain has yet to weigh in.
I see. Captain, I know this may not be your area of expertise, but we'd like to know your take on the matter.
I've thought about it, and I was hoping somebody else might have to make the decision, but if you're counting on me to finalize, I think deploying the Asylees is the safest route. That would be my vote. Short-term solutions that are fast. Science may think it has all the answers in the exact moment, but that microbe, if it has even a 1 in a billion chance to mutate, it's a bad choice. We know what the Asylees will do. I vote for the Asylees.
I'm in full agreement. No need be delving into unpredictable sciences.
Here's hoping they'll be kept on a short leash.
That, madam, is most certainly the plan.
Order, please. And Major Sinan? Dr. Walker, you'd find this acceptable?
We trust the captain's judgment.
Then the matter is settled. We'll begin the process immediately. Today marks day 1 for the United Colonies Terramorph Management Division, making you 3 the founding members of the TMD. As befits such a group, the Cabinet wanted to display its gratitude. Today, we will be adding 3 new Class 1 citizens to our ranks.
Class 1? For the 3 of us? Are you joking?
What he means to say is, thank you, ma'am.
Oh, yeah. Thank you, ma'am.
What's a Class 1 citizen?
It's a status reserved only for those who've dedicated their lives to the United Colonies, or done great things for its cause. Class 1s enjoy an ample credit disbursement, an additional reduction on the cost of colonial goods. And I'm told the penthouse is rather impressive.
Well, thank you, Madam President.
You all have earned it. Now, there's much to be done. Major Sinan, Dr. Walker, I hope you 2 are willing to continue your efforts, spearheading the TMD's research on Mars.
We'd be honored, ma'am.
As for you, Captain, the Vanguard will be providing much of the on-the-ground support for the TMD. As a member of both the Vanguard and the TMD, I believe you'll have your pick of duties. Speak to your commander, Tuala, if I recall correctly. He should be able to provide you with assignments going forward, plus help you collect the benefits that come with being named Class 1. On behalf of the whole of the United Colonies, you have our sincerest gratitude. This meeting is adjourned.
Honestly, feels more like a bribe to keep my mouth shut.
All branches of the UC are on board with the plan. Now it's just a matter of executing.
Commander?
Well, well, I've got to say, this is a first. I've never had a Class 1 citizen in my ranks before. Congratulations, Captain.
Thank you, Commander. It's an honor.
No need to thank me. You brought this on yourself. I've already gone ahead and processed your Class 1 benefits. All UC goods and services should now have a thanks for protecting the colonies discount. And the credits should be in your accounts now. But to get into your penthouse, you'll have to pay a visit to the Aphelion Realty office. They should be able to grant you access.
That's incredibly generous.
Higher-ups wanted to make sure you know how much they appreciate what you've done. But with all that squared, it's time to get you a new assignment. There are your standard Vanguard missions, putting those pilot skills to use defending UC space. Or you could help the TMD in cleaning up terramorphs. Oh, and I got a request from Dr. Walker. Wanted your help collecting biological samples to keep an eye out for any, new alien threats on the horizon. Any of those missions call to you?
I'll probably be helping out Percival with whatever new alien threats.
Sure. He'll have all the specifics. If you find yourself looking for more work, you know where to find me.
Though I won't be helping him out right away. We have Constellation business to attend to. I assume you're the one I talked to?
Well, well, if it isn't the United Colony's newest Class 1 citizen. You've made quite a name for yourself in New Atlantis. In fact, the higher-ups want to thank you for your dedicated service by giving you one of the nicest pieces of real estate in the city. It's a premium penthouse at the top of Mercury Tower. Best location in New Atlantis, in my professional opinion.
What do you say? It'll just take a second to get you registered as the owner.
All right.
Great. You're in for a real treat. It's one of my favorite apartments in the city. Okay, you're all set. Your new home's located in Mercury Tower in the residential district. You'll love the place. It has a gorgeous floor plan and an unbeatable view of the city. Now that you're an owner, I'm sure I'll be seeing you around town.
day, I'm gonna leave New Atlantis for good.
You like my fit? I got it from one of the outfitters here. They have the best.
What's the word for that again? It's on the tip of my tongue. Me.
You have a nice day now.
Stand as you enter the city. Please keep
To move on.
After everything that's happened, the ship feels like the best home to be on. Go anywhere we want. Not beholden to anyone but ourselves. You know, I claim that neon is the worst. And I obviously have a certain love for my Freestar home, but... And sure, New Atlantis is pretty. Mostly clean. But I tell you, every government is fucked.
I'm ready to head out again when you are.
I just want to live in the stars.
Time to leave this place behind. Orbital insertion completed.
Let's go to the moon.
Smooth jump. Nice work.
When you have some time, Sarah, we should talk.